I got my Arizona iced tea.
I got my grapefruit flavored seltzer water.
That's the
This is my.
whitest John I have. All right, we're gonna be talking about ReZero season 2, episode 35. There's a lot to unpack with this episode, so spoiler warnings if you haven't read the title, or if you're dumb, there's spoiler warnings.
And if you haven't watched it, then don't listen to this first. Go watch it because
There's a lot to
this
unpack.
is this is this is basically like a commentary and our own thoughts on it. So we're not gonna fill in the whole episode anyway.
Grab a snack, get something to drink. If you don't, you're broke. No, I'm kidding. All right, let's just get into it. All right, what we starting with? You want me to go first or you?
You have the list, so
All right,
start with the first thing that you remember in that.
I'm going to my list. There's a lot to unpack. I had to make a list. You know that's crazy. I had to make a list. It's called episode 35. All right.
Okay.
So let's just start it off, right? It starts off with Satella going to the mansion, and Garfield and Subaru start chasing it.
Yes.
Garfield fucking dies, and
Oh yeah. He got the stab things
yeah,
killed
no,
him. Like
no.
her
Before he died, he actually controlled what is it? The little elf. I forgot what they're called again.
Ryuzu things.
Ryuzu, right? Yeah,
Ryuzu.
he controls them, right? For a little bit, right? They don't work. He explodes.
Yeah, they attacked.
He explodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the darkness eventually surrounds Subaru.
And that's when he uses the handkerchief, and
yeah, as she's saying I love you, I love you, I love you, right?
And then she's saying
and
love
he
me,
kills
love
himself.
me, and trying
he kills himself, and before he kills himself, or before he actually dies, he takes off Satella's robe, and I think Satella took control of Amelia. And that's why he said, "I'll save you."
Oh yeah, that's why Amelia was the body that in that video.
Yeah,
it was Amelia. Amelia was in that. Oh yeah, because he saw her when she got unpossessed or whatever. Not
yeah. That's why she
unpossessed,
was,
but he
gone in the
pulled the
first
veil
place.
off.
That's why she
Yeah,
was
he
gone
pulled the
in the
veil
first
off.
place.
Mm-hmm.
People are saying that it's because, well, before that they had the tea party, and people are saying that Satella did that because Subaru told Echidna. Is that how you say her name?
Echidna? I think it's Echidna.
I don't think so. No, no, no,
CH
no,
is
no,
it?
no.
Is it?
Let's not.
Is it Echidna? I'm just
the Witch of
choose
Greed.
Texas speed.
The Witch of Greed. He tells the Witch of Greed, I can return by death, and people are saying that's why Satella is mad. She doesn't want Subaru telling people that he could return by death.
Yeah, that was before she controlled it. That's before she controlled it.
Yeah.
That was the whole him getting him drinking her bodily fluids.
Satella got jealous. Satella got jealous when she, what is it? Subaru was like, "I'll rather choose the Witch of Greed over you." She cried.
Yeah, but that was the thing. They were saying, in that video, that kind of opened my eyes on a lot of it because I watched it once. You told me to watch it twice, and that's why I was gonna watch it a second time now. But I watched it once, and in that episode, when he was in the cross visions through every other person's memories with her, when she did the same thing to them, I saw the what do you call it? The way she possessed Amelia was out of jealousy, right? And then also Subaru in himself was jealous when he came to the world.
It reminds me of the part in season 1 where literally the Satella, Satella literally straight up destroys Amelia's heart when Subaru tells her that he could return by death.
Oh wait, yeah, he just Satella actually just killed. I remember that now. They were in the mansion at that point.
Yeah, And then
Yeah,
they got
and he's
teleported out, and Puck got really mad. He got really mad.
yeah, because the first time that Subaru tried to tell, was it tell Amelia or whoever it was, when he tried to tell them the first time,
It was just
he
like
died.
yeah,
Yeah, but
not
he
even
died.
no. He didn't even die. He was just like she Satella was just like playing with his heart. It was like touching his heart, so he couldn't just
No,
spit it out.
yeah,
And
it
when
was
he
like
did actually spit it out, it just
she
destroyed
killed
the
him.
other person's heart instead.
No, 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 no. That was the second time, because the first time he did it, he actually did kill himself. I remember this part, I think.
Oh, I think he did.
Maybe I thought, yeah, because that's why he was surprised that Amelia was killed
Hmm.
in that situation, and only her. But which was also weird. Like, come to think of it, there was like what, 3 people in the room, or was it just her?
No,
Which one?
no. It was just her. No. It was just her, and then Beatrice walked in.
Yeah, but she didn't hear it, so she was fine.
Yeah. All right. So enough. Like we're not doing a summary. All right.
No,
If
no
you haven't watched the
summaries.
episode, right? Joked on you. Haha. Right.
We're not gonna go back for you. Just catch up.
If you don't remember, just rewatch the episode and then come back over here. All right, we get in. We're just going to discuss our thoughts, right?
All right,
So,
first thing on your list.
all right. This is not related to the new episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is just a little things of like, what if? All right, we're just going to discuss like theorize on the ending, or not even the ending, just like later in the series. What if Amelia and Subaru break up?
The thing is, if that was to happen, I think Subaru just constantly kill himself to the last point that she was with him. Like, he just seems like that type
Or
of
try to
dude.
make it work out. I don't know. That would be
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm trying to say. Like, he would do that because now that Echidna, like, or the Witch of Greed, like, secured him in a
I'm gonna
way.
say it's Echidna.
Echidna, I mean, whatever. Like, Witch of Greed, that, yeah, that lady, whatever. The way she secured his power, in a sense, of being able to return by death, whatever Amelia was upset by in an instance, he could kill himself and then go back to before it. And like, I wouldn't say it's impossible for them to break up, but I feel like because of what Satella has given him, it's technically impossible.
Sure. All right. Next thing on my list of like things I want to like just say, this isn't really a question or anything. I'll just say this. Subaru isn't as like annoying or hateable as he was in season one, because back when we were watching like season one, it was just like he make decisions like shut the fuck up. What are you doing?
He was such a simp, honestly. Back
Not
then
even
he
he
was
was
a
a
lot
simp, he
more.
was just annoying, bro.
No, but he
The
was,
part where
yeah.
he tried to fight Julius. No pun because my name
Yeah.
is Julius, right?
Oh wait, yeah, yeah. In the selection when it's the
Yeah.
5, yeah.
Or like he tried to be Amelia's butler, and he like, dude, that was just so
The
annoying,
first, yeah,
cringy.
the first life when he was there, he's like, "Oh, please hire me, please hire me." Oh, he was, yeah. Honestly, by now,
Like I don't know,
I
it's just
like
like
his
the
development.
stuff that he did. It was just so annoying because he annoyed the people around him, right? And he made everybody look like a clown, right?
Yeah,
And then like what is it that Rem the infamous what is it? I love Amelia. Of course, like it makes sense that he loves Amelia, but it just that was just like the final straw for Subaru, for
yeah.
fans at least, right?
But the
Um,
thing is, I really, really wish that they make not a movie of it, but like a what if.
they
Like,
are what is it?
oh,
They
they
already
are.
did. It's actually
Wait,
what is it? A light novel, like not spin off. It is a spin off, right? Basically, it's a what if what is it? Subaru said, "I love Rem," right? And basically they do exactly what Rem said they do, where they just run away and all that, right? And I believe they're going to do that like a what if, right? As an
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I want to see. Like,
and I
sadly,
believe
they're gonna go
it's
on
going to be a
break.
movie. It's going to be a movie.
I want to see that. I don't know when it's gonna come out. Maybe next year sometime. But
I'm gonna say it's going to be coming out in like 2 years.
you want 2022? You mean? Like,
Yeah,
all right. I mean, since I just started, what do you know when season? Oh wait, you said season 1 came out like 2016, didn't you?
yeah. And then
Like,
the
yeah.
director's cut. Um, and I believe
last
what is
year.
it? Memory Snow and all that came out
Yeah.
2018.
All right. So that's the one thing. Like, I didn't realize this, but since a episode comes out a week, four in a month, it was 2 months ago the first time he had the tea party with Echidna. Because I'm looking at the Crunchyroll episode list right now,
Mhm.
and I can see the little thumbnails of it. Um, episode 28 was the first tea party thing, and like from that point to now, the amount he's actually changed is crazy.
Yeah,
Because he did when he did the first trial and he was with his parents, like even though it was a simulation in a sense, um, that that ability to have closure in some sense,
yeah.
that
It's just
really
like
that
adds to
yeah
that because like literally, the reason why most isekai is hated is because it's just like there's no depth in like the main character, right? It's just like the like if you're going to be like isekai, right? You're
hmm
going to care about what you have back home, right? And that's what we're like most animals or animals isekai
animes.
isekai animes fail
Yeah,
at because like it's just like they don't care about what's going on at home. It's just like, oh look, or like the characters suck. And here the characters are lovable. I like the characters, it's interesting. And like they don't just ignore the main character's past, they actually go back and visit it. He has problems.
yeah. That's what I really liked about this show, because like especially with the movies in between where they could focus on different parts, that
Hmm.
was also really good. But with Subaru, I feel like they didn't leave him as a placeholder character, because they could easily have done that. They could just use him as a pawn to tell the story, but they actually have a focus on him.
Yeah,
And while through his point of view, his focus is Amelia. So it's like third person view of his life.
it's so rare to have an actual like rememberable like the first person you remember from ReZero is probably going to be Subaru.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because like if you look at any other anime, like the first person you're probably gonna remember like from like any other anime is like, oh, the main love interest,
yeah. Unless it's like something like a One Punch Man.
Yeah.
But like with that, he intentionally didn't have one, right? That was his thing. But that's obviously like a separate thing altogether. But with yeah, exactly. With most animes structured in a similar way, it's it's the main character's pursuit of said person. Like even with Konosuba, even though we're not talking about it, when he went, um, I can't even remember the main character's name in that one. That doesn't matter. He's going after Aqua and he brought her to the other world. Like that, it was the focus was on that.
Kazuma is like, I mean, like you can remember him right at the bat, but like that's probably gonna be the last character you remember. So
Yeah.
Aqua is probably like the first, the Megaman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Like
So we're gonna get into the actual episode now. We're gonna start dissecting. We have a lot to dissect.
yeah,
All right.
your
So no,
checklist, your
we
list.
we talked already for like a lot on just like
That was
stuff that's
already
not even
20 minutes.
stuff
Yeah.
stuff that's not even in the episode right now. Stuff like that. We haven't even talked about the episode yet.
Yeah, but this is a good basis. Like this is the first episode. We're starting at episode 35 of
Mhm.
season 2. So I feel like we have to have some thought
Yeah.
because we watched the whole thing through by now. Up to this point. So yeah, your start your list. What you got?
So all right. One thing I caught right. Back in the past episodes, Subaru was telling me like we'll switch places, right? Remember when they're when they were at like the table? He's like, what if me and Amelia switch places, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing I caught, right? You know how every time Subaru wakes up and Amelia wakes up, Amelia's always crying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in this
Yeah.
episode, Subaru woken up and Subaru
He
starts
was
crying,
shaking and crying. He was
and
shaking and crying.
Amelia starts to saying it's gonna be
Yeah,
okay. They
oh,
literally
wait,
switch
it
places.
was sweet. Oh my goodness. So do you think like that's something telling in the future? Like because that means their trials were different. When you look at the first trial or technically second trial for Subaru, he kept going back to with Echidna, right? That was that his first trial since he redid the day?
Wait, I have a weird theory. All right, this is a sub point. This is a sub point, right? Let's call this 1B.
All right.
What if all this is just a trial? Because remember, he keeps on waking up in a trial. What if one day he's gonna wake up and that's the actual trial? That's the actual end of the trial because every time he wakes up like as if he got up from the trial, but we don't know if what is it he actually woken up out of
No,
it.
wait, yeah, that kind of would make sense. That would make sense.
Yeah, because
As crazy as it
he did
seems.
so much, and he didn't get a new starting point. Well, I mean, like I guess
It's
the
been what, 3, is it 2 episodes or 3
no,
episodes
but
he's been
I
in the
guess that
same
would make
area?
sense though. What is it? The trial is a good starting point. I don't know. That's a sub point. That's just like a little throwaway thought.
I I know it's a throwaway thought, but I mean we can put a couple minutes into it because you think about it. Remember when he woke up and there was the, what do you call it? The mob beast, and it
Hmm.
was the rabbits, right?
Hmm.
And that's why in this, was it this past episode, episode 34? Episode 34
That
was
would make sense though
um
because for them to like it's snowing. That's
yeah,
a couple
that's
months have
snowing.
passed.
Not
At
to
least a month
mention,
has passed.
yeah, not to mention, you know, when Garfield saves him off of the roof, that's a totally different situation,
Hmm.
right? Because he woke up what, 5 times or so in this one place. He's woken up like 4 or 5 times because he saw Roswell like 3 times in the house because he tried to go back to the mansion. I believe he died twice in the mansion. The third time, I mean, he also died third time. But then the second to the, I mean, this previous time before he killed himself because of Satella, he was eaten by the mob beast, wasn't he?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah. So like that's him waking up by himself, all in the
Now,
snow.
I think there's gonna be like a few plot holes in that theory. I don't know. There's something I'm forgetting, but just play that theory no mind. I mean,
Yeah.
like it could be plausible, right? If we put a little thought into it, but I think that's too much. Right? It's just an interesting thought.
Yeah, it's something like, say if it does happen, we can say we thought it happened first.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, basically, literally, Subaru and Amelia switched places. I caught that immediately. I was so hyped when I caught that.
that that is something I didn't actually catch because like I was watching, I was like, hey, yo, he's shaking and he's crying, and now he's the one who needs a hug. And last time, like last 2 times or so, they woke up, she was the one scared and crying.
Yeah.
So I was like, that is kind of crazy. I didn't think of that.
Yeah. All right. So point number two. I wonder if Garfield can return by death as well. I know this is a far stretch, right? But since he is also an apostle of greed, um, this would also explain how he behaves differently every time like Subaru comes back. And the ending of episode 35, um, where what is it? Garfield just says, "You don't know what pain and suffering is," and then Subaru
And
says,
then
"I do," and he's shocked. Like,
and
oh,
he says, I
you can
know
do that
hell.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's how I caught it. Like, you can do that too. Maybe I don't
yeah.
know.
That,
I
you
don't
see,
believe that
that's the
yet. I'm gonna
thing.
need a few more facts, but I just thought of it. Like that would kind of explain a few things, like how he behaves differently, or his reaction to what is it, Subaru? Saying I've been through hell.
Yeah, I feel like that could either just be like shock and just be, oh wow, I didn't know this guy, or it could be like what you said, he has the similar type of thing. However, with me, the only plot hole I see is, you know, in the beginning of when he jumped Subaru off the roof to the other one,
Yeah.
right? He was like, oh, actually, no, a couple times. Even before that, like the last life before this one, he woke up in the trial. He was mad at Garfield, and then Garfield just didn't remember. Remember, he was like killing everyone, not letting Subaru out of the sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
Like in that one, he transformed, started killing everyone. Subaru escaped, but Garfield, like when Subaru ended up dying at the mansion, or whatever, Garfield didn't remember when he woke up.
Yeah, but how would
So
you explain How do you explain like how he behaves differently?
you see, like with that, I feel like each person who has the Apostle of Greed type power has like maybe a different strength or like a different power in a sense.
I don't know. I feel
Because
like this is a mystery that I really want to like know about. It's really interesting.
yeah, but like that is a good point to bring up because who else has it? Because he has it, Subaru has it.
That's it.
Is that really it right
No,
now?
no, 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 no.
No,
I think what
it
is it? What's Bull's name? The mansion owner. Forgot his name already.
Roswell.
Roswell. He kind of has it because there's little like fourth wall breaks where you be like, you have to do something this time. It's like almost like he knows. I think Beatrice has it, right?
I wouldn't. I would think so. No, wait, she does. Because no. Remember there was the Roswell does have it because remember there was the thing that is what he asked or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He has that. Beatrice says as well.
Mm.
So I personally feel like maybe Beatrice doesn't have it. She's just under the same oath that they're under, similar to how not Beatrice. Oh wait, yeah, it is Beatrice as well as is it Rem? Rem also has it or
No,
Ram?
no, no,
Ram has it.
no.
Not
Ram doesn't have
no.
it.
She doesn't.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't
I don't
like
know
what
if
is it?
it's
She doesn't change.
no. She doesn't change, but I'm saying
She
she
doesn't
doesn't.
know about
Oh,
like
I think she's under it. That's what I'm thinking. I think
no
she's
no no no.
under
I
it,
don't
but
think.
not.
I think the only people who know about Subaru's condition, right, is Roswell, and I think maybe Beatrice.
I think Beatrice knows because of her book. Remember when
Mm-hmm.
Roswell was explaining about the only two copies they have
Mm-hmm.
of the true gospel or whatever? I feel like she would know through that. Also, I feel like so far, have we seen her? How many times have we seen her die?
We
If
never
we have,
seen Beatrice die.
yeah. So that's also a thing. Like, wait, have we not?
No, the only time we've ever seen her, like, what is it, implied that she died was on the episode where Petra dies and all that, where they're at the mansion, and he goes
Oh
into
yeah,
Beatrice little lair, and then what is it? I forgot the girl's name. I forgot her name. Stomach slasher.
yeah. I don't remember her name either.
Um, when she stabs Subaru, she starts walking towards Beatrice, and she's crying, and then Subaru dies.
All right. So we've never actually seen if she dies or not.
Yeah, we.
Also,
Sorry.
no, wait a second. Wait a second. You know, there's also a theory that Beatrice isn't a friend at all, right?
What do you mean?
No, like because she has the gospel and she was mourning Betelgeuse, if you remember, like way back. She, like so, if you think about it, if we've never seen her die, and all this time Subaru's been pursued, they could all be like together because we've never seen them hurt each other. We've seen uh who I don't even think we've seen Beatrice actually fight. So in that sense, I don't know. That's why that's also a theory. I don't know. I don't think it's that
We've seen her
concrete.
like kind of defend, right? Because
Yeah.
remember, what is it? In season one, right? What is it when Rem dies, right? And Ram starts chasing Subaru.
She said
Beatrice
she
signs an
can't let it
oath.
happen.
Subaru signs an oath with Beatrice for him not to die. Oh,
Wait, what?
oh, wait! It does carry over. Oh my god! Oh my god! All right, back in season
Okay.
one, what is it? Subaru signs a contract with Beatrice so that if Beatrice sees Subaru, Subaru can't let Beatrice can't let Subaru die if um, Beatrice is in sight of Subaru, right? So that would explain why in the newest episode where he enters Beatrice later, that's why she didn't let him kill himself. Maybe.
You know, actually, and that's why with the cliffhanger, she's not under the contract. That's what it was. The end of the episode, the cliffhanger. You know, like going to next one. So I feel like that's that's actually a really good point.
I don't know if that's true though. I might be miss because I don't remember season one as good as I remember to. I'm going to probably rewatch it, right?
Yeah, that was like a
But
month
like
ago now.
I think that was how the contract went, and I mean like that might explain why he stopped Subaru from killing himself in the newest episode or the newer episode.
Yeah, but you also remember when Subaru jumped off the cliff?
Yeah,
Right, she was still under contract at that point, I think.
yeah, but she was protected
right?
against Ram.
Yeah, but also, that makes a second thought. Does she know that he has returned by death? Like, because
Well, I
you're
mean, like
saying that
because
him and Roswell
his
probably
contract
do.
is carries over.
Yeah.
I mean, like if we're going by our theory, her contract carries over, which means she has to know.
Yeah, but also it could be since he wakes up previously, right? And the contract carries over. Does time exist in her little library? There's so much. Like there's so much.
Technically, right? Since we never seen her die, right? And if she,
Hmm.
what if she returns by death with Subaru? What if every time Subaru dies, she goes back in time and she's still in her little library?
Yeah, but also isn't she like 400 or something crazy like that? I don't even know
Yeah,
how
but
old
it
this.
basically, if we're going by like this little crazy theory that we're making up, right? If she's
Yeah,
always in her, she never wants to see anybody die. Oh, oh,
he's got another one. He's got another one.
shut up,
He keeps hitting. He keeps
hold up.
hitting.
I'm standing on top of my chair right now, right? Right?
You've elevated to a different plane.
Right? Beatrice is under a contract, right? Where she can't let anybody harm Subaru, right? But that doesn't mean he could harm himself, right? And I think the contract is over if somebody else kills Subaru in front of Beatrice, right?
Yeah,
So that's why the contract isn't over when he jumped off the cliff in front of Beatrice, right? And that's
she
why,
wasn't
and
looking
that's
at
why
him.
Beatrice is always saying, if you're going to die, don't do it in front of me. Remember?
Wait a
That's what she was
second.
always saying, right? And
Wait,
that's why,
but
shut up. That's why, right? That's why. What is it? When the stomach stabby girl, right,
yeah,
killed Subaru, and then in the newest episode he went back, right?
yeah.
He went back to Beatrice. That's why she said the contract is over because he got killed in front of Beatrice, and that technically she's never seen anybody die by someone else's hand because she's always in her library, so she doesn't know what's
You
going
make
on
a
in the outside world.
you make a good point.
This is too. I don't know. This is probably completely wrong. People are kind of looking at me
No,
like I'm stupid. I'm not
no,
believing this.
no,
I'm not
no.
believing anybody. I understand. I'm just speaking. What I think. Right. The only facts I'm going by is what's going on in the show. But this is just like theories, of course.
Yeah, but you think about it from what you said, right? Especially about her not looking at him when he dies, like when he jumped off the cliff, her back was to him,
Mhm.
right?
Or not
As
even just
well.
because he killed himself. Because his
No, but
contract. I think his contract is just like to not let somebody kill him.
no, but she also stopped him from killing himself. Remember that in the library, she stopped him. So I feel like the contract is him dying, right? So if just say that's the case, she can't see him die. That's in the contract where she can't let him die if she sees it
Mhm.
or like sees him in danger. She has to stop it.
That's even if that's the contract. Because I don't know if I'm remembering this contract. All right, hold up. I'm gonna search it up right now. What is Subaru's contract with Beatrice? Beatrice was contracted to protect Subaru. When she is with him on the cliff, she suggests die where she can't see him, so she won't have bad dreams about it.
Huh. Wait a second.
So wait, and she's turning around. So my theory still is at least a very little bit plausible.
You know, that
Um,
actually makes sense because technically, right, when you jump off a cliff, you don't die until you hit the ground. So even if she saw him jump, there is no definition that he is in fact dead. She didn't see him dead. So that makes sense. That means her contract still is plausible, right? So all right, assuming that that's the case, right? That since we know that's what the contract is, and I think the words of her having bad dreams about it is also important because say if she also doesn't lose memory in that time because of say it's her book or just say it's her power or whatever it is, right? Because technically isn't she also similar to Puck in that sense where she just exists constantly, but that's her body?
she's basically saying, "Don't let me see you die. I care about you. So if you die in front of me, I'll have a nightmare about it."
Yeah.
So it never said though that. So this is where my theory starts to crumble a little bit. It they never suggest under what conditions are the contract over.
Yeah, but also
And
in the
so it's confirmed that
cliffhanger.
her memory doesn't get wiped when Subaru returns by death. So that's already confirmed.
Yeah, right. In that case, right? Since we don't know, unless, wait a second, wild thought. Say he succeeded in the trial. Just wild thought.
Mhm.
Crazy thought. In her cliffhanger, she's saying, oh, well, the contract is almost over, right?
Mhm.
That's what she says at the end of the episode. almost
We're going by the
over.
theory that, what is it? He's still in the trial.
So say we're in it right now, because in the episode, say we're in it right now.
Mhm.
She says it's almost over. That could be a hint that when he gets out, the contract is done.
Maybe.
Because,
I don't know.
but just saying some crazy stretch of it. Because technically, since we know Satella,
There's gonna be a lot of technicalities this episode.
There's a lot of technicalities. You know, it's about 40 minutes of technicalities this whole time. But that's the whole point. It's our thoughts of it. There's a lot of thoughts you can have on it, especially at this point, because there's so many loose ends that they've yet to tie up. And I hope next episode deals with some of them, because there's so many. Like right now, it's almost like we're uncovering more stuff to figure out rather than actually figuring out where it's gonna go.
I really hope it doesn't end with like a crazy cliffhanger, because so far the episodes, they've been ending right, but I didn't feel like I was like, oh my god, can't wait to the next episode. It's not like a crazy cliffhanger, right? Because back in season 1, they had crazy cliffhangers. It was like, oh my god, what, right? Season 2 wasn't that heavy, so I'm hoping that like next episode it's probably gonna have a crazy cliffhanger. I'm not even gonna like I jinxed it. I already know.
Even if there's a crazy cliffhanger, I hope that before
there's
they
enough,
give it,
there's enough for us to like like at least answer a few things.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want them to finish the Beatrice conversation. If there's going to be some advancement of her, even if they leave that advancement on a cliffhanger, we'll know where that conversation went, almost guaranteed, right? Then hopefully we'll figure out what the contract was, right? And also if yeah, if this is the trial or not, that's also a massive one. Because remember they also said Garfield tried the trial.
Yeah, and she nodded.
Right? So if
the little elf lady nodded.
Yeah, Ryuzu clones or whatever they're called. Right. Yeah. Right? In that case, he tried it. We don't know where he went. If he also like drank her, whatever you call it. Because remember when the Witch of Greed said to get to the table the first time is easy, second time is almost impossible, third time it has to be you in basically worse. Yeah, from like the bottom of your heart, whatever you want to call it, right? Like out of pure desperation.
Yeah, and then every time after that, you have to get louder and louder.
Yeah. So that's something that if he got there once, that makes sense. But they also never said how far he went. So you don't know. Maybe he possesses the ability to finish the whole trial, but he just hasn't done it.
I don't like that. I don't like that. The trial theory anymore. I don't know.
I don't know. No, but this is the thing. Like
I don't like. Never mind. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. No.
Why is it not? Why does it not make sense?
Because he talked to the Witch of Greed at the end of the trial, and she basically said your trial's over. She has no reason to lie to him, basically.
I know she has no reason to lie to him, but also since the people aren't free, the trial for Amelia is not over. Maybe that's the case of the people. Because remember, he said that he wasn't going to do it. He was going to help her do it. Like he offered to.
Also, but thinking back on the trial theory, though, I mean that might explain why he completed a trial, but when he said, "Oh, I completed a trial," and they checked, there's no progress on the barrier.
True, because if he wait a second, he completed a trial, then he died and went back before he took the trial. Is that a possibility? Because technically, when he woke up, it was the end of the trial, and he keeps going back to waking up at the end of the trial, meaning if he wakes up differently and he like goes back to a different point, the same thing isn't done. Right?
I don't know. This theory's getting confusing. You're opening up a new can of worms. All right. Yeah. I feel like it's time to move on to the next point.
Yeah, move on to the next point.
We're only on point 2. And that started just from us asking, do you think Garfield can return by death? That's all we asked.
And that was just it's a Beatrice's contract and everything.
All right. So point 3, right? This is when Subaru and what's their names again? The little elves.
Ryuzu.
Yeah, the Ryuzus, right? This is when they're having the conversation, right? And Subaru says at the end of the conversation, "Don't tell Garfield that I'm an apostle of greed or that we've been in touch." And the Ryuzu enters with young Gar, meaning it's basically saying Garfield. would definitely have something to say if a relative of his is meeting with his lover. What's that mean?
His lover.
So basically, we already know,
Hold
like,
up.
all right, a relative is of his, right? Maybe
Wait a second. The original Ryuzu was his lover.
no, 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 no.
No. Think about it. They found him at the opening to the girl stuck in the crystal. Right. Now, when I
No,
go
we're talking
home.
about Garfield's lover.
No, that's what I'm saying. The girl
But
stuck in the
but
crystal.
the original has been dead for like 500 years though.
No, but
They
this
said
is the
that.
thing. How old is Garfield? No one knows.
True, but no, but I don't think.
Not to mention, it
No, no, no.
doesn't matter how old
No, no,
she
no,
is.
no, no, no. Because what is it? The only two meetings we've ever really seen, right, is the meeting between Subaru and Echidna, right?
Yeah.
Which that could mean his lover could be Echidna, because we know, what is it? I think Garfield visited trial, right? He did the trial. I think they said that. Or his lover could be one of the Ryuzu clones. And a relative of his.
Right.
What could that mean?
I
A relative
personally.
of his?
Wait, is Subaru a relative of his? Wait,
Yeah,
who was the
that's
relative?
basically what she said, right? She said,
But
young
also,
Gar, this is what she said. This is the quote. I quoted it exactly, right? Young Gar would definitely have something to say if a relative of his is meeting with his lover.
okay, right?
There's a lot to
Was
that sentence.
no, wait a second. You want to know what they call a relative? What if apostles of greed are called relatives?
I think so. I think that's what it means. I didn't pay that. Just like meeting with his lover, like young Gar would definitely have to have something to say if a relative of his is meeting with Echidna, or a relative of his is meeting with us or me.
Yeah,
Uh, uh,
that's the thing. Remember in the video you sent me, he said that witch of greed, echidna, whatever, she was seeking immortality. She made these things. They were unable to contain her mind, right?
mhm.
Or her soul, whatever they call it, right? If that's the case, and the I can't remember her name, but they had like the Ryuzu Bara, whatever her name was, right?
Mhm.
She had her own name, and that was part of her making herself because she was given her own conscience, everything like that. Um, when he was talking to her in the room, and she said, "Oh, I sip tea. I don't need food, but I just do it because it's my own like quality."
Yeah.
When she was in the room, she explained that to him, but she has her own mind. If if she is the one that Garfield's in love with, that would kind of make sense.
I don't like the theory of like, oh, she's talking about the original Rizu, because what is it? Subaru never had a meeting with the original Rizu. That doesn't make sense. The only meetings he had was with, what is it, Echidna and the clone of Rizu that he's talking to now.
Yeah, but you know what? We don't know if Garfield is reincarnated, right? Crazy theory, right? Say he was alive at the same time as the original, before Echidna or Echidna did what she did to her, right?
Wait. But because
I
it,
have a
it
thought.
has to be Echidna, because the original Ryuzu is Echidna.
Is it?
Remember? Where, because that's the reason why she created Ryuzu, so that it could hold Echidna, so that she could run out these tests for immortality. But was it the original Ryuzu went crazy because she couldn't hold all the info?
Okay, right? Say that's the case. You want to
But
know what I
then,
had a
even if
thought?
it has to be Garfield, it has to be either Garfield or the clone. That's the only.
Right. Say it's the original. Say it's the original, right? Say he was in love with the original and then he became in love with the clone because he found out it was her, right? Just this is my theory. Why was he interested in Ram? She has pink hair. The original Ryuzu has pink hair.
Does she?
Basically, a similar build. Look at it. Look at it. If you look at it, she was in the crystal, right? She has pink hair. Echidna doesn't. That's her. Remember, that's her witch side. And that's what's in the sanctuary. So if you look up the original Ryuzu, they're built like baby versions of the girl with pink hair. Hers is longer, but since she was in the crystal, say it grew while she was in the crystal since she's locked away. Also, I'm looking at Crunchyroll, and that is the front picture of Crunchyroll. Let me just see if I can. I'ma send it in what you call it. Right, this is the cover. Are you in Discord?
Yeah.
If you go to general chat in Discord, you'll see the cover and you see who's in the background. It's Echidna's in the background, right?
Mhm.
In the crystal is Ryuzu, pink
You know
hair.
what I find strange?
What?
That Amelia's all the way in the back. You can barely see her.
Yeah, but she's also getting possessed by Satella. So what you have to
Is
realize
that the
is
that
it
Satella version of? Yeah, that's the Satella version of
yeah.
Amelia all the way in the back.
So you see that. So like you see the original girl, pink hair, Ram pink hair, right?
Mhm.
If you like you see her and she has a similar build. Basically all girls in anime are built similarly if you look at it, but I'm saying like just because of my theory, say their hair was like similar length or whatever. This is why Garfield is attracted to Ram in the first place is based on her looks. And then he says, "Oh, you are not whatever. What was his words? You know, like he's attracted to her, but he doesn't like the way she acts. In a sense that
I don't know, man.
he's
I think
like
we might need
it's a reach, right? It's a reach, but I feel like it might have some kind of
maybe
importance there,
maybe I don't know. I
or it
think we
might just expose who Garfield's attracted to. It still might be one of the clones, right? But I'm just saying, like based on what he's attracted to, the only person looking similar to that is Ram, and he also had attraction to her. So him being attracted to Echidna in the trial version, that would only let him talk to her. It wouldn't actually be the same person, if you know what I mean.
I don't know. I think we might need a bit more explanation, right, in future episodes. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what is it? See Garfield interact with the other girls, right? A bit more before we actually come up with that conclusion, right? So I
Yeah.
think it's time to move to the
Move on
next
to
point,
point four. Point four.
right? And this is when they actually leave the little house where the little Ryuzus talk to Subaru, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what is it? The Ryuzus, how they gave themselves their own names and all that, right? So Subaru goes, "Your name is Vilma, right? Where'd that come from?"
Bilma. See, I said B something. I didn't know her name was
Yeah,
Bilma.
and then Vilma, or the Ryuzu clone, right?
Yeah.
She goes, she basically says, "Oh, we all have ways of expressing ourselves. We had to, like, what is it? Come up with like a
Differences in
difference
our
between each
personalities
other,
and all
right? To
that.
tell each other from
Yeah.
one another, right?" And then she goes, "Why don't you ask that question again after tomorrow?" So,
Wait a second. Hold up. Is Beatrice and Ryuzu and somehow connected, right?
nah, I
Just
don't think so.
no. She said the contract's almost up. She said come back tomorrow. Hold up. Like I feel like there might be some kind of connection to what happens next.
I don't
Like
think that.
they're all no. I'm saying like think about it. If wait a second, no. This actually would make sense because you know how Betelgeuse had the basically like invisible hand, but since he used the same power that Subaru had from the Witch of Jealousy or Witch of Envy, right?
Mhm,
And he could see it. He was the only one who could see it. Remember that.
mhm.
He could see the hand. So if that's the case, and that's Satella's power, and Betelgeuse had Satella's power, Beatrice knew
Wait, wait,
Beatrice knew
wait,
Betelgeuse.
wait, 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 wait. So, all right, I think this goes back. This goes back to how I think Garfield and Subaru have the same power, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. So you know how Subaru. So you know how Satella and Bigos have the same powers with the arms, right? And
Yeah,
Subaru is the only one who could see the arms, right?
yeah, he could see him. He can't create them. He has the power of darkness.
Yeah.
Remember that. He can make
Well,
it go
basically, when
dark.
Subaru and Garfield were fighting Satella, I think Garfield could see the arms.
No, he could. But also, Garfield could see. No, yeah, he could because that's why he jumped. He
Mhm.
said they swallowed them up. He can see it. because I personally feel like they're all somehow interconnected. Or if he knew
And that's why,
Echidna,
and that's why when they're in public, right? I think Garfield was acting dumb, is playing dumb, like and playing like, oh, I think like, oh, like I don't know. And then that's why when they're in public, right? When what is it? When Subaru was like, "Don't you have something to tell me?" And then Garfield was like, "What?" What? Because they were all in public. But as soon as he left, as soon as he was by himself, right, leaving to go to the mansion later this episode, right?
at the
Garfield was
interrogation at the
waiting.
tree, yeah,
Yeah,
he knew he was gonna be there,
yeah.
and
So
he
yeah, I
cut
think
him
he's
off.
playing dumb. I think
Right.
Garfield was playing dumb. I think he has returned by death, and he's returning by death
If
with.
not with, he
Because
still comes back.
technically, every time Suru dies, everybody in that little circle of the village dies too, and that means Garfield dies too. Because when Subaru dies at the mansion, technically either one of two things happen. What is it? Satella eats them all up, right? Which means Garfield dies and then he goes back in time with Subaru, or did they get eaten up by the bunnies and he goes back in time with Subaru again? They're gonna
And
die.
remember when Subaru was able to talk to the witch that was locked away
Mhm.
in the box to why she created it and had to be all killed at the exact same time? I personally feel like they're going to end up doing that. Similar to how they killed White Whale, they're going to end up doing that at some point in the future, probably when they come back, right?
Actually, I think what is it? They're both thinking each other because like if we're in Garfield's perspective, right? Looking at Subaru, it's like if you're Garfield and you keep on dying, going back, you're like, man, why does Subaru act different every single time?
Yeah, but that's the thing. I feel like that that part of the tree is actually a lot more important. And also, according to the video you sent me, right? In that video, it said that in like the manga series, there was a little extra part where the Ryuzu stopped Garfield from getting Subaru,
And
from
he
to
felt
stop him
betrayed,
from
right?
exiting. He fell for it. Yeah, right. He fell for it. So what I feel like Garfield and Subaru know the same things, but they have different goals,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if Garfield has the ability to do the trial and doesn't do it, he has a different goal than Subaru because Subaru wants Amelia to win. He wants Amelia to become the leader, regardless of her image, all that kind of stuff, right? That was the original reason why he came to the world. He was like, that's not his reason why he came, but I'm saying that's the goal he set for himself out of his own personal greed and like jealousy. He wanted to see her win and for her to fall in love with him. That was his goal. Um, and that's what he constantly says. He said it from the beginning. That's what he wants,
Mm-hmm.
right? With Garfield, we don't know what he wants. If he wants the girl Ryuzu to come out of the crystal, which, like in the cover that I sent here, that crystal is in the center. Echidna, she's holding it. The Witch of Greed.
Mm-hmm.
The people in the background haven't really been brought up much. That's why they're in the background, except for the girl top left. She is the one who created the bunnies, right? Girl top left. She's the one who created the bunnies. I feel
And
like Amelia.
the girl, I think the girl
Wait a
under
second.
that,
No, all these people, all the people in the back, all the people in the back are
yeah,
the witches.
are the witches, yeah, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
except
all the people on the top are witches because
that's why I said all those
at the
people in
top,
the back.
no,
In
no,
the
no,
back.
because literally everybody in the crystal are not witches, right? Everybody in the crystal are like the main characters and all that, right? And all the people outside the crystal are witches because if we see that's the witch of greed, right? The witch who created the bunnies, the witch I think who took who
Who
shattered,
put him back together? There's a
yeah,
witch, the bottom
the,
left girl with the blonde hair.
yeah,
She put him
yeah.
back together. The
To the
blue
right of that
girl
is the girl
pulled his
who
arm,
yeah, who pulled
pulled his arm off.
and we have to and then behind all the way in the back in the far right, right? That's Satella, right? Which is envy, I think, right? Yeah,
Yeah, that's the Witch of Envy right there. Yeah.
yeah. And then we don't know who those other two witches are.
No. Those were. Hold up.
Yeah, we don't know
Oh,
who
wait,
they are.
actually, I didn't know I could zoom in on the picture and on the computer because I was looking at the small version. But hold up. Yeah. So there is the Witch of Envy. I don't know the girl with purple hair. Right? Like the
Unless that's the stomach cutting girl.
no, it doesn't look the same because she has black hair. Remember, she has black
Oh
hair
yeah.
and like purple reddish eyes. Right? That's different. Not to mention, like we said, people outside are different people inside. Okay, now look at the people inside. We don't know what Otto is. He comes across as just a
I think
human.
Otto was just a regular guy. I don't think there's nothing to say
I
about Otto.
I don't think so
I think
because
this just
he's been
confirmed
here.
basically who is and isn't witches.
No, I know that. I know that, but why
That's
is
the thing that
Garfield?
Betty isn't a witch, though. We know that.
No, no, this is what I'm trying to say. Remember, this is for season 2. This is the cover for season 2.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they want us to know for season 2. This is not everything. So season three's cover is going to be different. Possibly even when they come back, it's going to be a different cover. You know. So based on where we are now and what we know,
Yeah, but I don't think there's
Beatrice.
anything to explain about Otto. Like,
Yeah, I. This is the thing. It's too early to tell. He's been around for too long, in my perception. He's been around since before the white whale days, right?
mm-hmm.
So, like, for him to just be carrying, why couldn't it have been something like the old man who was there with Felt?
No,
Why couldn't it have been something like that? Or
no,
why
but
could it
like this,
even?
though, Otto is like the most like I think the third most shown character. Otto's there in every episode. It makes sense for him to be in there. Who else would
Yeah,
be?
but, wait a second. No, he's with Pastrash, the ground dragon. Mm-hmm. He's like the people. He's the person who takes care of him.
All right, one. Oh, never mind. That's right? Roswell.
That's yeah. No, you see left Roswell, then Subaru. Ryuzu's in the back. I believe Amelia's right here in the front. Mm-hmm. You know who's not on this cover at all?
Who?
There is no Rem on this cover. His Ram is way at the bottom. Look at the bottom. There's Ram's face.
Yeah.
There is no Rem on this cover at all.
I think Rem is just going to be asleep. That's the point.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that means she's not coming back. Like, at least this season.
Yeah.
From this cover. From this cover, she's not a feature. She's just laying in the bed. Also, remember when he goes back to the mansion that one time and he sees her and then she ends up dying? Mm-hmm. Excuse me. I don't think we ever saw her die, right?
Who?
We didn't see Rem's thoughtless body die. I don't remember seeing that.
I don't think that's really like anything special. Like we didn't see her die. I mean,
yeah, I feel like that's just extra, and that's they don't care about.
This is the lengths we're going to. We're looking at the cover art. We're looking at the cover art for answers.
Yeah, I know it's a reach, but I'm saying from what we've seen so far, we're not 35 episodes into season 2. We're 9 episodes into season 2, right? Mm-hmm. From what we've seen, it kind of would make sense that the people on the cover are the people who are featured who have something important that goes on, right? Also, like, I must say, Echidna has played the biggest part. She's the biggest person on the poster, right? If we're going based off of size, I feel like Roswell has a big. He's keeping them there, right? He said he tried the trial. He got hurt that badly, right? Or at least he's feigning that he got hurt that badly. Maybe Ram is covering for him in some sense because he's just sitting in bed doing nothing at this point.
Yeah, but we're going by size. That doesn't make sense because what is it? If we're going by size, it would be what is it? The Witch of Greed, Echidna, right? And then one of the witches on the left because they're all bigger than everybody in the crystal.
I feel like, yeah, but that's the thing. They make I know we're analyzing cover art now. It's kind of sus if you think about it. But
no, we got a bit from the cover art. I just realized that Rem isn't on the cover, and everybody who's outside the crystal are witches, right?
Are witches.
It also looks like Echidna has malicious intent.
Remember, she does not care what happens. Remember, she doesn't care what happens. Her greed is finding out everything in the world. That's what she wants. It's finding everything in existence. So she looks at everyone's memories. That's how she created Subaru's world. She knew his thoughts, but not why he chose to do things. She was just watching. That's what she said. So with everything, she's watching every part of Subaru's life, everything that he's doing. She still sees it. And probably with everyone else who's interacted with her, if not even interacted with her. So under that case, right? Just in that case, that makes sense. She basically runs the whole show right now. She knows almost everything that's going on with everyone. But she only allows herself to say so much at one time, right? So that makes sense why she's the biggest. If we're talking about most powerful, that's why I'm saying her, because since she's dead, she still has that much power, even though she has to stay inside of the sanctuary, inside of that, like, what do you call it? Inside of that like castle or whatever they call it. Um, right. That's kind of beside the point. But why are the witches that big if they don't escape? Weird, crazy thought. Say that. Say they're. Say that. Like, say one of them does. Just crazy thing.
No, I think
Because
the
I
most
feel like
sus part is how like
it would be too
what is it?
easy.
The Witch of Envy. Stella is so small. It's kind of sus. And she's covered in darkness. She, if we look at the witch who created the bunnies, right? I forgot her name. Right? She's not covered in darkness. The Witch of Envy is all the way in the background. You can barely see her. She's covered in darkness.
But also, wait a second. No, look at this. Yeah, I know it might seem sus. Amelia and her built the same, right? We already know they have the same likeness. They are looking the exact same way, same facial expressions,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh yeah, they
You
are.
know, the same facial expression. So Amelia's conscience going through the trial, I don't think that's fully changed. I feel like it was different last time. Remember when they swapped places because he woke up crying and everything? It was different in this current life that he's living. But I don't personally think overall that she's fully forgotten because, like, when we saw, was it Memory Snow? She didn't remember what she did. She just remembered people hated her.
It was actually what is
And
it?
I
The
feel
Frozen
like
Bond.
Frozen Bond, yeah, Memory Snow was the one where they were like just having fun, really. But Frozen Bond, she didn't know what she did. She just was dealing with people seeing her
Mm-hmm.
and like not understanding what she did. Okay, so from that, I feel like the trial is her finding out what she did, and that's why she was crying, going crazy,
Mm-hmm.
right? If that's the case, I don't know. Same reason as you. I don't know why she's in darkness, like that Witch of Envy. I don't know why she's in darkness because she's played a massive part
She's the
this whole
reason
time.
Subaru has the
Also,
power.
she's the reason Subaru's
She's the
is
reason
there.
Subaru can't
Like
even
that's what
say
I'm
stuff.
seeing. Yeah, like so that's why, right? Her being shrouded in darkness, it might just be like symbolism because the whole side of it is still kind of murky. She doesn't know exactly why he's in that situation and all that, you know?
Maybe her power.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, that could be it because remember she makes a cloud, she possesses people, so that could just be the image of Amelia being possessed and turning into a witch.
Mm.
You know, that could be it. But okay, that's I feel like that's a lot to delve into. One thing is Garfield is inside of the crystal. A second.
Sanctuary?
Oh wait, no. Yeah, inside of the that's the sanctuary.
No,
Oh,
you said crystal. Oh wait, no. Oh, I
it's
thought.
on the cover. On
Yeah.
the cover, yeah. Because I was just looking at Garfield's over here on the right, Roswell's on the left. Um, a few people aren't in it, meaning they're not important. Because Petra's not on the cover, Francesca's not on the cover.
Oh,
Stuff like that. Oh yeah, Fella's not on the cover. I feel like because they don't feature like those people, the other four people that Amelia's against in the running. I don't feel like they feature this season because remember how after White Whale they all disbanded and they haven't come back, unless it might be for the bunnies. But since that's in the sanctuary,
I think they're just not on the cover because they're not going to be playing a role this season. There's going to be no point in them. This season is just going to be getting them out the sanctuary, I believe.
remember it was Roswell, Francesca, and Garfield's idea to go to the sanctuary and bring everyone there. If that's the case, right?
Mhm.
I feel like what we don't know. Oh no! Oh wait a second. If you look at how Garfield transitions, remember he glows.
Mm-hmm.
Francesca doesn't glow.
Yeah, she just rips your clothes off and
No,
transforms.
but he has like some type of power. It's like the opposite of what Satella has because he starts like glowing white. She grows like a dark purplish black, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's really that much to
He
look
has
into, though.
it's-
I,
no, I don't
I feel
feel
like
it's
too
he's not
little.
as
Is
powerful,
this
but
grasping it too much, right? And just like, oh
it
look,
might be.
he's white, he's black. like, it's not.
No, what I'm
It's not.
saying is, yeah,
It's not. It's just like.
no, but it might be too
Yeah,
far. I feel like it is
we're
too
gonna need
far.
like a
Like,
little bit more, right? But at this point in time,
yeah,
I don't know.
the only
I think it's time to move on to the next point.
yeah. Just let me just say one more sentence. One fact was that Francesca and
You have
Garfield
different blood.
had
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
sides. They have
Right.
different sides. That's it. Yeah. That's it. Like, that's why she can leave and come back freely. He can't. That's the end of that. So we can go to the next
We got
point
that.
now.
We
That's
got that.
just
By the
where
way,
it was at.
from Bilma, the Ryuzu clone, asking, "Why don't you ask that question again after tomorrow?"
Yeah.
All right. So, point number 5. All right, I'm excited for this point. I'm really, really excited. Right after Subaru puts the message, right? It's at the like near the end of the episode, right? Just before Subaru leaves, to go to the mansion. Subaru wakes up and writes, a little letter for Amelia and leaves it at her doorstep, right? Yeah, yeah. And as no, no, no,
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't pick it up. I don't think. I don't know. I don't remember, but it doesn't
Oh
really
wait,
matter,
yeah.
right? Doesn't really matter.
And she picks it up. She picks it up,
Basically,
doesn't she?
as she's leaving, right? Or no, as
Was
he's
that not?
leaving,
Was it not this
right?
one? I thought she did. I don't know.
Um,
Maybe she did.
as he's leaving, right, to go to the mansion, he says, even if I leave this world behind, I don't want Amelia to look sad, right?
Oh wait, yeah. I remember
All
this.
right. So I've had this suspicion for now, right? For a while now. But I think just because that line, it confirms it, right? That if Subaru dies, the world in which he lived in, or the world in which he died in, technically, still goes on without him. And because just because he said, he left the message at Amelia's doorstep and said, as he was leaving, even if I leave this world behind, I don't want Amelia to look sad. Basically was it kind of confirming that the world goes on even with him gone, which is kind of messed up in some of the ways he died, especially the ways where he killed himself. Like this season where he found out, oh, Rem died, right?
Yeah.
He finds Rem body. They're trying to revive her, right? And
Mm-hmm.
he's like, "Oh my god, I have to go back," and he kills himself. That's fucked up because if the world goes on, then now Amelia has to find out that Subaru killed himself.
Wait, yeah. But this is the thing, right? Say if they kill Satella, right?
Huh.
Right. Just in some jump stretch, would that put him back all the way to his first death and he just dies? Or like, because like you think about it, she's given him the power. She obviously
No,
has
but
the
I don't think
ability
that.
to take
No,
it
no, no,
away.
no. But we're talking about like the how the world goes on even after he's dead.
Did Satella get Garfield?
Huh?
Like if he has the same, if Garfield has the same power, remember, right?
Mhm.
Remember when the Ryuzu were saying, "Oh, how did you find this?" And also, if you remember the fact from the video that you sent me to watch, he said that Subaru was in that weird like in between dying, in between being himself, and all the memories of everyone else that Satella had done the same thing to.
Mhm.
All their memories were put together. And remember when he went through those memories that were all like melded together, and he found where the original Ryuzu was?
Mhm.
Do you think that was Garfield's memory?
No,
Right?
because we saw like a girl's hand. I think that, and he says it too in the episode. I think it was one of the clone reuses.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah.
All right.
But
All
like
right.
back to what I was saying on how like even if Subaru dies, the world still goes on. This kind of messed up because now, like, let's say this season where he kills himself because of Rem, that's messed up because now if Amelia has to come home, or I guess like come home, right, and find out that what is
He jumped off a cliff.
no, not so he killed himself with the knife. Remember,
Oh wait, yeah.
right? Or like and literally any other way he died, and they were just not. I'm not talking about the ways where he was like where like
Not like
he
when
came home and then he came to the imaginary while he was dead. I'm talking about the ways where he alone died.
yeah.
They're gonna have to go on without him. That's messed up. And he left people
Like
thinking.
I'm trying to think of like how many times that's happened. Like there's been a ton of deaths, obviously. Like I remember in the first season it was almost
I think he only killed
every
himself. He only killed himself twice, actually.
Yeah, he only killed himself twice, but remember there was a lot of
which is
times when he
weird.
was the only one that.
Which is weird.
Yeah, but it is strange because he always found a way to end up dead without killing himself.
Yeah,
Remember that?
yeah.
So
Because it
like
was like, oh no,
that
because
was
something messed up would happen. He was like, and I was old, be like, oh now he has to kill himself, and then somebody would kill him. Like,
yeah, because like what was the situation that he did that in? Um I remember he wanted to die when he fought Julius. Remember that?
yeah,
He wanted to, but he didn't. He didn't end up dying in that situation. Amelia healed him, and I was mad that whole episode because it was like a really slow moving one, like you told me it was going to be. I was like, why doesn't he just like end up dying and just come back and do something better the next time, right? But no, that didn't end up happening. However, uh, what was the other death that he killed himself
he jumped
to
off the cliff.
avoid? Yeah, he jumped off the cliff, and there was it the knife one he also had,
Mm-hmm.
like the where he turned the handkerchief into
Yeah,
the thing, but that's the thing. That was Amelia while she was possessed by Satella. She didn't want to be, right.
mm-hmm.
She didn't want to be possessed in that situation. Um, so that
Basically, what I was
that's
trying to get at here is in the intro, right? I know I'm judging by the intro, which is probably nothing, right? Um,
mhm.
but this is the first thing I thought of when I first saw the intro, because in the intro he's going through his past. He's going through. Remember in the intro, he's going through every time he died, right? He's
Yeah,
walking through, right? He's looking at every time he died. He's looking at the worlds where he died. So I'm like, oh my god, is he going to go back to see the reactions of every time he died? That would be cool to see people's reactions to his death.
and also what happened to them.
Yeah, and what happened to him, right? Like,
Like,
but
do you think
I really wanted to see everybody's reaction to
I
like his death. Like, oh my god, Super's dead.
if that happens in this storyline, that would probably end up being like the best episode.
That yeah,
Like
that would be like
to
the
me,
best
that would
episode.
be best episode for sure because he's the only one who remembers the pain of every single death,
Yeah,
right? But he's the only one who has no memory of what happened afterwards.
yeah,
So it's like a two-edged sword in that way, where even though he can remember what happened in the past life while in this new life no one else remembers, every single death is just him coming back to a different reality that's like a duplication of the last one
yeah.
in that scenario. Meaning with Amelia, the current Amelia is the same as the past Amelia, but almost like a clone of it, where this new life is that is crazy.
Bro, I'm excited. I really
Yeah.
want a part where everybody gets to know what happened to Subaru.
Yeah. And now that Garfield knows, right? He doesn't know, he may not know 100%, but say he knows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Ryuzu probably knows, right?
So, yeah.
So, yeah, Beatrice probably knows. I wouldn't be surprised if Roswell knows.
Mm-hmm.
At least, if not, he probably doesn't know all the deaths, but he knows that he has this power. Meaning, I don't feel telling him would end up killing either of them. Since that was nullified by Echidna, whatever. See, I don't know her name either, but since that was nullified, that's why he, what do you call it? Real sus drinking bottle of Foolish, but like, yeah,
I think it's basically confirmed that Roswell knows, right? Because
yeah,
what is it? When he was speaking to Subaru, he was like, "Oh, why did you leave the mansion hanging?" Basically talking about like the last season, right? And Roswell was like, "Because I knew you would pull it through." That's basically what he said.
yeah. It's like he not left him in charge. He left him to protect it.
Yeah, and because he knew
Yeah,
he has the power.
yeah. So that makes sense. It makes sense that he knows. It would make sense that Ram knows possibly because she's always like on his lap. Remember in
Mm-hmm.
season one, they were all like very, very close. Kind of sus, but like, hey. Um, however, right, say they know, there's probably like 5 people currently alive, regardless of which of creed, right? Probably like 5 people who know that he has that type of power. So I feel like that's gonna be interesting to see how they develop it. And also, if it's going to be detrimental to him, like it's gonna hurt him in the future.
Mhm.
So yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to see. There's a lot I'm excited for
Yeah,
because there's so much. There's so many paths they have to like I said. There's a lot of loose ends to tie up. There's a lot of stuff they can do because I know it's following the book. I don't want to read the book. I'm not going to. Even in the 3 months off, I am not going to look at anything
yeah,
ReZero. I'm only gonna rewatch. That's all I'm gonna do. Like
yeah,
that's what I'm gonna try to do. Just like rewatch like maybe once a month or so, just to remember how
yeah.
everything's going.
I feel like at this point, right? They built up a lot of like secrets and all that mystery, right? Excitement.
Hmm.
But I feel like I'm pretty. After all that, I'm still pretty comfortable because I feel like there's no way they could fumble the bag, right? Because even though
Yeah,
with all this mystery and all that, there's no. It's not like, oh, they're gonna forget about it, right? Or like they could
yeah, but
fumble
because
it.
they have a book series to go off of
Not even that. Just
as
like it's
well.
just pretty easy to keep track of. It's like there's no way they could fumble the bag on this.
Yeah, I feel like it's better. I like watching an anime off of a manga better than watching like a TV show where they have to write a new script each season.
Hmm.
Because there's already a storyline that's following, and the anime is adding to that storyline by adding visuals, by adding dialogue,
Yeah,
by adding different
maybe
scenes.
sometimes it takes away, right? Because they have to
Yeah,
fit it into episodes and all that.
yeah. Sometimes it takes away, but I'm saying it still
Most of the time,
adds
it takes
a
away.
cinema.
But
Yeah, but like it might take away from like story details,
mm,
right? But I'm saying what it adds in like cinematic value, stuff like that. It's not. It's it's a like I said, it's a trade off. It's like you're gonna take some detail away, but what you're gonna get back is a well thought out storyline
mm,
that someone may have invested a ton of money in a great looking anime, but you can't get a good storyline. So that's why I feel like they're doing a great job because the stuff they're leaving out isn't stuff that ruins the show,
yeah,
right? And that's why it's still really good
mm,
because they're doing it right. Because like it's like when you watch like a movie, a book adaptation, or like a movie adaptation of a book.
hmm,
A ton of those are usually horrible.
yeah,
Like they're usually just so bad. But with this, thankfully, it's not because they have the books pretty relevant still.
hmm.
And yeah, that's why I'm
I feel
excited
like they
because
could be in contact with the actual author, like, oh, do you want us to, like, to fix this or anything? Like,
yeah,
mm,
and they can like if that person is like checking their animation, if they're checking how something's viewed, because like say with the scene where the different inside of the Satella cloud, whatever you want to call that,
mm,
right, in her grasp where all the memories are being formed together, that visual was not something that you could draw in a manga,
hmm,
right? That was only possible in anime form,
yeah,
right? Like so with that definitely feels like you would need some kind of uh communication, like with the author or with someone who is in charge of drawing or like doing the design work, because how it's meant to be displayed is something they had in mind, and they were able to convey that really well. However, like if that person wasn't alive, or say if it was like just a book without a manga to go off of,
which it
that
is.
would
It's
have
just
been
some light novel,
yeah.
I believe.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Oh
it's
I
not a
see.
manga.
Oh
Manga,
wow.
manga.
Manga. I've always been calling it manga. I guess
Jinga.
I'm not legit. Oh.
Now we're at our last point.
Point six.
Yep, point six.
All right.
And this is a little side thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is at the end of the episode when Garfield confronts Subaru. He puts him up against a tree, and Subaru has a smile on his face, and he goes, "Now I know what gets you mad." Um, and I just thought, like, I don't know, this is just like a little extra thing, right? Does this have to do with Ram that he's mad? Because the only time we ever seen Garfield ready, like truly ready to kill or harm Subaru, is when Ram was last around him. Because remember, at the beginning of the episode, um, was it Subaru asked Ram to what is it? Um, to what is it? I forgot what it's called. Um, you're cutting all this, by the way,
Yeah.
to distract Garfield, right? And then Ram asked him to do like 10 favors. Um,
All right.
we don't really know if what is it Garfield was actually truly around Rem, right? I don't know.
Was Garfield around Rem? Is Rem blue hair or Rem is blue
I
hair?
mean
Ram is
Ram.
Ram.
Every time
Okay,
I
so
said
Ram.
Ram, just I meant
Yeah, is all right. Yeah, all right. So it's Ram, pink haired girl.
Mhm.
I feel like Garfield like simping for her, like to the point where he'll
Yeah, but
fight. No,
what could Subaru mean by now I know what gets you mad? What?
him leaving, like that's usually what ends up getting him mad. It seems like
Yeah,
remember he's tried to stop him from leaving twice.
yeah, but he didn't get mad when he was leaving with Ram.
I think it's him leaving alone because remember, relative. This is also the thing. Although we're saying oh it might just be a positive greed, remember, Subaru's able to take the trial. People with mixed blood need to be able to take the trial. Mixed blood means he's either part witch, which I feel like this is a thing, right? Since he has returned by death, I feel like that's why he can take the trials because he's part witch. And that's why I also feel like Garfield, he might be 50-50, like technically beast and human, right?
Mm,
Say he's 50-50, but that either the beast may have had the, whatchamacallit, the witch of envy thing, or maybe the human side may have had it,
mm,
right? They might have had that kind of thing. So in that sense, they're both different than like Francesca. She's just like pure beast human, right?
mhm,
And since Garfield's her sibling, I believe it probably the same human because they look similar. Different beast because he turns into a tiger and she turns into like a lion type thing. So I feel like I know this is separate than what you were saying, but I mean like according to what gets Garfield mad, they're like totally different. However, Garfield and Subaru are closer than I think you originally would expect, which is what we both like have a similar thought process when it comes to that. Is that they're closer even in the show when they use like a term relative. They're both apostles. They can both control the Ryuzu clones.
mhm.
Um, their affinities with Ram are different. However, like Garfield is more of a love interest. My own personal theories has something to do with the original Ryuzu or with one of the Ryuzu clones that Garfield's attracted to first. However, if it was one of the clones, right? Sorry, I'm just taking a step back. If it was one of the clones, why is he not with her now? That's beside the point. Since they're all in the sanctuary, by the way, and he can control them, like why would he not be with one of the clones? Um, all right, that's just a little side. That's a side note. If Ram is that important to Garfield and he can't leave, it looks like he's getting mad from the wrong side. Like, why is he okay when Ram goes with him? Unless, right? Unless he knows what Subaru can do.
Mm, I don't know.
And but would it say if he has a different power? Maybe he has the other side where he can see what happens after Subaru's death?
Nah, I don't think that's the thing.
I know this is a crazy one. It's stupid to even think it, but just imagine because the world doesn't fully reset,
Mhm.
right? Since that's already given. But like, say he can see all of the different Subarus at that given moment when he transforms or something. That would be crazy. Like that would actually like just say we could create a character in ReZero. Like just what would you want a character in ReZero to be able to do?
I think I would want a character that comes from Subaru's world to come to this world, so he has like like somebody to relate to, maybe.
Would it just be human? Would they have a
Human,
power?
no. There's a human from Subaru's world comes to what is it? The Amelia's world. That's
Mhm.
it. That maybe the same power. I think
Same power? Oh,
same power
would
as
they
Subaru.
be?
It's just that they could actually like I don't
Would
know.
they
It
be?
would just be
Would they be?
interesting.
Yeah, but like, would they be friends or would they be enemies? Like, say they both are attracted to Amelia or something. Like, Like, how would that work? Or say, uh, like, would they be doing the same stuff?
I don't know. I don't know. I, this is getting hard.
Yeah, like that's like I understand where you're coming from. I think what would be cooler is if they couldn't die and Subaru can always return by death. However, when that person can't die, they don't. They're literally the opposite of Subaru, and they come back similar to how um Subaru comes back, but they don't remember anything.
Well, I mean,
They
just
just
like
come
anybody
back.
else, then.
Yeah, basically just like anybody else, but they can't die. Like Subaru never has to save them because they just can't. Like even if they're like getting stabbed repeatedly and like the
No, I don't
girlfriend
know.
or
I
girl
don't know.
dying,
I
like
think what I don't know. I don't know, man.
I I feel like that person would just be like
It would
too.
be just pointless. I don't know, but if they
Yeah,
can't die,
that
it would be
it would be.
pointless. It would just be
That's
pointless.
basically us from watching the show. That's basically us. You know, like people watching the show, they know everything that's going on, but also not at the same time. So like it's kind of meta if you think about it. It's like breaking the fourth wall if you create a character like that because they can see it but they don't know. I don't even know where that came from. That
All
was
right.
so stupid stuff.
Um,
Rounding out point six.
I think that's
Like
it.
what
I think
was
that's it. So basically, I think we solved that. What is it? Now I know what gets you mad. I think just Subaru leaving gets him mad. Under
Subaru
what
leaving without
conditions though?
Ram?
Because when
This
he
is why
left
we
with
have
Red,
to come
I
back.
think under certain conditions it gets him mad because he changes every
Yeah.
single time Subaru dies. He has like a different like thing, right?
Yeah, he has a different thing that
So
makes him tick. Like remember
maybe
you
he was
threw
like
him in the
maybe he was
dungeon.
like in a good mood when they left.
I don't know. Like that's the thing. I don't remember this point. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it, to see why they let them go the first time. Because remember, I believe,
I think they just let him go because Ram was there. He didn't want to be mean to Ram or in front of Ram. Because
yeah,
imagine
remember it was Otto.
because that
Was
would
it
be so that,
Otto?
because the, wait. So the only times what is it Garfield got like pissed at Subaru was when it was just was it Garfield and Subaru. That's it. Because he why would he flip out right and try to attack Subaru when Ram and basically everybody's there watching. That's why he just let him
He
go.
wouldn't. That's why. Okay, so we know that, right? He got out of that somehow fine because he said, "I know hell," and blah blah blah, right? So we know he wouldn't attack in front of Ram and the others that he knows Subaru can control because he would end up getting like
Beat it.
beat up. Yeah,
Yeah, his ass.
he would.
The
Yeah,
brains be
no,
out of him.
exactly. He would not be able to stand up after that. So, like, if we know that as a fact, one thing that I just realized, he let them go when Otto, Subaru, and Ram left together to go to the mansion.
Yeah.
That was the time he wasn't mad, right?
Mhm.
But I'm trying to remember, I'm gonna have to go back and watch to see at what point he wasn't mad, because then it could also bolster the theory, like provide like weight to it, of if he knows what happens in those other lives, or if he also has returned by death and remembers it, right? Because reason why I think that, um, Garfield still a big thing on the cover art, so that
Garfield
death,
has just so much mystery, but
yeah, there's so
we're
much.
finding it out because Subaru, when he was speaking to Garfield, he was like, "What is it? I know you're hiding something. I'm gonna find it out. I'm gonna find out about it."
Yeah, and you know what? Garfield is so much more important than Francesca because she's not on the cover.
Yeah.
So only the like if you think about it, the people on the cover are so much more important in this series from the just the first 9 episodes we've seen.
Yeah.
Of how many episodes supposed to be, like 20 something, right? Right, say like 20, or like
I
based on
think it's
how
gonna be
many,
25. I think it's gonna be
25, right? 25 episodes, right? 9 in, not even halfway fully, and he's had this much depth, like, or this much screen time, you know?
25.
So he's not a small character. Ram has had less screen time. Roswell has had less screen time. Only people with similar amounts of screen time. I would say obviously Subaru.
Wretched,
Yeah, Echidna, and
Garfield, and I think let me look at the
I
characters again. I think maybe I'll say like all right, going from like the most screen time to what is it like? I'll say the first like four people, right? Subaru, of course,
other than Subaru, yeah.
right? I think Amelia. Under
Did
that,
she have
under that is Garfield, and under that is
Echidna?
Eshida. Yeah,
Yeah, I understand your point, but he's been at the table for almost 2 whole episodes. Like not like 34 wasn't a whole episode being at the table, but 28, basically a whole episode of him chilling at the table. I feel like Echidna is second or third in most screen time, like these first 9 episodes, because if he's not seeing her there, like, oh wait, yeah, in the first episode of this, that's when they had like those weird knights in the white garments. But that's beside the point, because they were the ones who were like, it doesn't matter what happens, we're just doing our thing. But okay, episode 28, he had the first tea party. He drank the tea, find out it was bodily fluids, spit it out, got all like upset. Episode 29, that's when he went back in time. And then remember at the end of it, Echidna was there. You hear me?
yeah.
All right. Yeah, Echidna was there in the classroom when he said, I'm going to school now. Right? So then I feel like episode 30, I don't remember what episode 30 was.
Episode 30 was I believe the episode where like Petra freaking dies.
Oh
Like it
wait,
doesn't mention.
beginning. Oh wait, episode 29 or episode 29 ends when he goes to the schoolroom. Episode 30 starts with him in the schoolroom.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he has the conversation, right?
Yep.
Okay. Right. It says blah blah blah. That's when he successfully completed the first trial. Right? That's episode 30.
And that's his
Remember?
new starting point.
That's his new starting point when he wakes up. Because he wakes up from the trial completion. And that's why when he woke up in episode 30.
One thing I don't like, right? One thing I don't like
What do you say?
is that people are just completely ignoring the fact that back when I think episode 28, right? Or
Yeah.
episode 27, when he enters the trial, right? It glows up, right? And everybody's looking at the trial like, oh my god, it went through. Right?
Yeah.
And then when he comes out, every time he comes out the trial, people just straight up forget about it. That ever happened.
You know, that is true. Like, they just stopped caring. Because remember this. Amelia's glow went down, meaning the trial was over. And he went in and he saw her on the floor, was going to go help her. It started glowing for him. And then he fell down and ended up in the trial.
And everybody saw that it blew up when he went in, and everybody was shocked.
Yeah.
Everybody was shocked.
Yeah. And like if it like, wouldn't have glowed up for him if he wasn't accepted.
Yeah. And everybody was shocked because, oh my god, he's accepted. Right?
Yeah.
And then people,
so why did they?
And then the later episodes, people are like acting like that never happened. I don't know. That's just like one of my biggest like complaints.
No, that would make sense because up until that point, all their memories are the same, right? Mm-hmm. Even if they were all to die and that's his starting point, they still remember when he went in and it started glowing.
Yeah, that's like my only complaint. I think it's just a little plot hole, right? Maybe they'll mention it in later, but I don't know.
Or maybe it has something to do because Garfield was outside. It depends on who was there at the bottom because not everyone was at the bottom.
No. Ram was there. Garfield was there. And Otto.
Yeah. So of those people, right? I know Garfield's like always accepted, and wait, no, they all know. They all know.
Yeah, they should all know.
I don't.
But then they acting like that never happened.
No,
like
because
they didn't blow up.
Yeah, they act like it didn't glow up. But what the thing is, they knew he's accepted, but they didn't know he completed it. They didn't know it was a success, right? He didn't tell them until it was at the dinner.
I'm gonna just say at this point, right? I'm gonna just say at this point, it may be a small little plot hole, right?
It might be. Yeah,
It
it
might be a
might
small
be.
little plot hole.
I feel like they should have had some recognition when at least he came out
Every time
those
I feel like
times.
every time he comes out, there should be like oh my god, what happened? Because he
What?
went in
Wait. Yeah.
every time he comes out, that's like I don't know.
Yeah, and also like remember the time in winter? Why did Amelia not try to wake him up? Because like she was just dead, but there was no traces of anybody. It was
No,
just
because he
flat
woke up.
snow.
Wait, did he wake up in the when it was winter? Did he? I think he woke up where he was being kept at.
No, 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 no. He woke up from the same point. That was a separate revive, right? He died at the
But he
mansion.
didn't die when I don't think did he die when
No, he did. He did.
wait when what
I
is it?
swear he did.
Wait no he didn't die when what is it Garfield in his transformed form when he slashed at
Otto.
when he slashed at what is it not
It's
Otto
Otto.
no
No, because
not
remember
when
he.
he slashed at Subaru and Subaru flew out of the boundaries right and then the little what is it the little diamond thing or little chain that he had around Subaru's neck glowed up and then it turned to white and then he woke up inside the little chamber he was being kept in when it was winter. I don't think he died when he left the boundary.
You know, that makes sense because he did come out of the tunnel. He didn't come out of the entrance of the castle. Yeah, I probably just remember that wrong.
Yeah, but then that sparks so many questions because like, how do you get there?
Yeah. Also, does that mean you leave without the crystal?
If he
Like,
leaves, I don't know, man. I don't know.
because remember what they said. Remember what they said is that if you pull someone out and they don't have the crystal and they're also not it leaves their soul inside and leaves their body dead
but
outside.
Subaru could leave and come back like anytime he wants because he's not half
Because
blood.
oh wait, yeah. Or no, he is. He is. Because Francesca's also half blood. But if you're less than half or more than half, you can't go through.
No. If you're half blood, you can't go through. But if you're less than half or more than half, you can go through.
Oh, see, I yet again something else I remembered wrong.
Yeah, but
because,
it's just that the chain. The point is that the
yeah.
chain blew up, and then he just got knocked out. I don't know. I might have to rewatch that. I might have to watch a summary on it, right?
Yeah. Do you know what that makes me think? You know what that makes me think? All the people in the sanctuary, just say they just waited years. Their kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Say if you brought more humans in and the humans
The kids should be able
kids,
to leave because they're less than half blood.
That's what I'm saying. Say you know they brought the village inside. Maybe that's Roswell's whole plan was to have them have a whole thing inside the sanctuary because the whole thing was it's dangerous out there. Bring people to the sanctuary, brought them to the sanctuary, finds out it's a prison. Remember that's how they ended up there.
Mm-hmm.
Found out it was a prison for all of them, and only worthy people could complete the trial and help them leave.
Yeah, but all those people should be able to leave because I don't think they're half blood.
That's what I'm confused about. Is why did some of them not go? Because there's definitely some in there, like especially the kids. Like say if I was half blood and I had kids with someone who was just human or someone who was just beast, right?
Mm-hmm.
In that form, and then boom. If you were to have kids, their kids would only be like quarter blood. They should be able to leave fine. They should just be fine.
We're discussing genetics now.
no, but I mean like that's important because there's literally kids inside of there.
How we're discussing genetics.
Yeah, but there's kids in there, and there's also people that look like they're whole beast as well in there. So like that's why it's so confused. There's a lot to it for sure. Can you just do a rundown of the points real quick?
All right, we ran down. All right, starting at number 1, Subaru and Amelia literally switched places in the trial. With Amelia comforting Subaru.
Mm-hmm.
We discussed if Garfield can return by death, right?
Yeah, that was a long one. That took a long time.
Yeah, who's Garfield's lover? That was point 3, right? And the relative of Garfield. Point 4, we discussed Vilma, right? And then when she said, "Why don't you ask that question again after tomorrow?" And we went into crazy mode on that one. It didn't even matter what happened. What we said in point 4, we just went crazy.
Yeah,
we just talked about something completely different on point 4, right?
I feel like I'm gonna go back and just be laughing at that. I was like, where did we go? There's definitely a point where we were talking about it, and then you said like 2 sentences, and we were like the whole other side of the season.
All right, point 5 was confirmed, and I think it is confirmed that the world goes on even if Subaru's dead. Right?
Yeah, yeah, that was also something I didn't even think of.
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing it because remember I only watched it once. I'm gonna still watch it again.
Yeah, you have to watch it again.
Some
You
part
have to
of it.
watch episode 35 like twice to actually fully understand it. Right?
Yeah.
But basically, I think it's confirmed now, maybe. But Subaru doesn't really know that, so technically it isn't confirmed, right? Because we don't know what happens after Subaru dies. You know, Subaru doesn't know what happens after he dies. So
that's why I said two-edged sword type scenario.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what happens.
Yeah.
Neither he can't see what happens either.
But it's definitely considered. We know that it's considered, right?
Yeah.
It's a possibility. Yeah. You know, before it was just like, oh, it's a theory. You know, but now it's considered by Subaru himself. And 6 was what gets Garfield mad. That's point 6.
All right.
Catch us next week. We're going to be talking about season 2, episode 36 of ReZero. And I believe that's the last episode before it goes on hiatus. And there's most likely going to be a lot to talk about, a lot to unpack there. So it's going to be a pretty lengthy episode, I'm imagining.
If you're listening to us on SoundCloud right now, you can go to YouTube, and there's a lot more visuals there. There's some clips from the show when we're talking about certain areas of the show, and in the description of the YouTube, as well as in the artist description on SoundCloud, you'll find our Instagram link, and you can go follow us there as well. If it's your first time listening to us, please come back next time because we're just starting this out, and we want to see how far it can go. Yeah, that's basically it. Wait, bloopers at the end.
Oh yeah, bloopers.
That's what we said. What's up? I'm Jake.
I'm Julius, and we're gonna be talking about like, nah, I fucked up, bro. Okay. Intros are the hardest part to do before season 2 goes on hiatus, and wait, before season 2. Wait. All right. I'm gonna.
Do you want me to do it, or do you want?
I could do this. Right.
So restart from catch us next week. Just do that one flow.
Oh my God, he's white. He's black. What gets Garfield mad? Or Garfield. Garfield. What gets Mondays.